Hello there! I'm Elizabeth Newsom and welcome to my channel. Today, in case you can't tell by these really cool gloves, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some really cool books about spies. And okay, I know these aren't spy gloves. It would actually be pretty stupid for a spy to try and wear these. I mean, like if I were a spy, I would just be leaving my fingerprints all over the place. But they're really cool black gloves, and I got them for Christmas, so I'm wearing them. And we'll be looking at 2 fabulous books today. I wanted to do 3 just because 3 makes me happy, but I haven't read a 3rd book about a spy in a while. So 2 it is. Our first book is on Wattpad and has recently been published into an actual book. It's in a world where certain people have these powers to see other people's thoughts and memories. It's called The Shadow Weaver by Claire-Merle. I'm sorry, Claire. For our next book, we're taken to a world where people have a variety of different powers. There are blurs who have super speed. There are muscles who are strong. There are shields who have impervious skin, and there are mimics who can shift shape. And this book is called The Spy in the Silver Palace by Jordan Rivet. So for our first book, The Shadow Weaver, first of all, I did say it's on Wattpad because it is. You can find the first 5 chapters there. And eventually, the author will take her first draft of the book and put it back onto Wattpad like it originally was. For the moment, only the first 5 chapters are available. But if you're impatient to read the story, it's free on Kindle Unlimited, or you can buy it for about $3 on Kindle. And I just have to take a moment to talk about how awesome this book is. This has to be my favorite book on Wattpad. Just the world building, the characters, the writing. Like, if I picked it off a Barnes & Noble shelf and it said YA bestseller, I would totally believe that because it reads like a YA bestseller. And in fact, when it's back on Wattpad, I think I'll tell you guys through these videos just because it is so worth reading and it's a great story. The book opens, Mira's family is in this tundra. Mira is the main character and she's one of those with these abilities to see into people's minds. She's also a really great main character. She's pretty hardcore, but she's also really loyal to her brother. And she's also a very competent character, which is great because I'm sure we all get annoyed when characters make really stupid decisions, and I never saw that with Mira. She's just a very realistic, down-to-earth, common sense character. Her family's in the tundra not just for a family vacation, but because her brother has what they call glitter eyes. If someone has these special abilities, their eyes sparkle and shimmer when they're at a certain young age, which is a really dangerous age for them to be because then other people can tell that these children have these special abilities. So what generally happens is a lot of these glitter-eyed children get captured and sold into slavery. As they're hiding out in the tundra, the worst thing possible happens. These bounty hunters find them and they kidnap her brother. So Mira goes after them and she eventually realizes that the only way she can save her brother is if she becomes a captive as well. So she becomes a captive, her brother is sold into slavery, and there isn't anything she can do about it. So what she does is she finds this young man who needs to hire someone with these special abilities that she has. Because this guy is going to be traveling to the place where her brother will be taken, and she wants to be close to her brother so she can rescue him when the opportunity presents itself. But what they discover is that this young man is actually this long-lost prince. And why he's lost is that he's actually temporarily erased his own memories. So now he needs someone like her to help her navigate the world and see kind of who's on his side and who's not. So he purchases her, or actually it's more like hiring, even though she's technically a slave, he doesn't really treat her like it. And in fact, the first time he sees her and he kind of sees like some bruises on her and how she's been treated previously, he's like really tender and gentle and wants to help her. And although people say that if she fails this mission for the prince, she'll be executed, the prince doesn't seem like the kind of guy to do that. He's actually a really cool guy, although a little naive because he doesn't really know anything. His memories are gone. But altogether, it's really sweet to see him falling for her and risking his life for her. It's also kind of sad because I didn't feel like she felt as strongly towards him as he did for her. What I would really like to see in a later book is her reciprocating his affection because the prince is just so sweet. I absolutely adore him. And Mira's a great character. So I'll leave the book link down below. My main thing for this book is that I really wanted to see like a complete romance. So hopefully that'll be addressed in a sequel because I really, really, really want a sequel. Book number 2 is The Spy in the Silver Palace by Jordan Rivet. And first of all, isn't that just a great last name if you're going to be a writer? Like, Rivet. That's great. As I stated previously, there are all these people with various talents, and the main character in this story is a mimic, so she can shift shape. Naturally, mimics are often used as spies for the Empire because they can shift shapes. I mean, they have better disguises than anyone else is capable of. But instead of getting the job she's always dreamed of, which is going into enemy territory to spy on them, she's hired by the princess and taken to live in the palace. And initially, the princess seems like really shallow. In fact, the princess is downright unlikable. She's bossy, demanding, selfish, frivolous. All she has the main character do is like disguise herself as other nobles and go to these parties so that she can listen to gossip and hear who's wearing what color dress at the next ball. Also trying to play matchmaker and hook people up and things like that. As you can imagine, the main character is really quite frustrated, especially when other talents or people with superpowers begin disappearing. She decides she wants to do something and try and rescue them. She makes a huge mistake, and then what she finds out is that the princess isn't quite as frivolous and shallow as she first thought. And the princess actually is doing everything she can to rescue the talents because she wants to save them as much as the main character does. Things get pretty complicated between palace politics and finding these missing talents, and also disguising herself as the princess and a variety of other nobles. But along the way, she meets a guy. And this noble's name is Caleb. He's kind and brave, and he has a bunch of secrets of his own, which make for some really great plot twists later on in the book. And one thing that I love about Caleb is that he can see through pretty much any of her disguises and tell when it's her even if she's shifted into another person. So this was another phenomenal book, and just like the last one, I really want a sequel. The romance was kind of left trailing, and I want to see that relationship develop more. Well, those are all the spy book recommendations I have for now. And I have a quick question for you guys. Are there any books about spies that you really like or that you'd recommend me? Or have you read either of these books? Let me know down below, and I will see you next time.